What is going on in the Hamilton real estate market? And it is now the time for you to jump in and buy, as with the recent interest rate decrease, as well as stuff sitting more on the market. What opportunities lie there for buyers, and how do you go about strategically selling your home in Hamilton? Well, I'm going to be giving you my 3 key takeaways for both buyers and sellers at the end of this video. But first, let's jump on in to the cornerstone of Association of Realtors and jump into exactly all the real estate data Hamilton has had to offer us for the month of August. So if we look here and scroll down to the summary page, the very first thing we're going to be noticing is sales continues to decrease right now, sitting at about 424 sales for the month of August, which is down about 15% compared to that of last year. However, what's good is we're seeing roughly the same amount of listings as the month of August in 2023, as right now we're just under 1,000 at 955. So because we're seeing about double the amount of listings compared to sales, the months of inventory and the amount of inventory on the real estate market continues to rise. Last month we were at 4 months. This month we are now at 4.5 months, which is up 55% compared to that of last year. And as a result, because there's more stuff on the market, stuff is sitting a lot longer, with the average days on market now being at 34.8 days. Now, if we break this down per property type and first look at the benchmark prices, we're going to notice a couple of things. Right now, detached homes is down about 3%, sitting at $833,000. We have semi-detached and row homes around $750,000 to $650,000 and have seen a decrease of 2 to 3%. However, the hardest hit price category has been the apartments, with it down 6% and at $460,000, the average resale value. Now, if we zoom in here to the number of sales, one of the things that you're going to be noticing here, while apartments continue to be down the most of all the categories, what's interesting to see is actually the detached homes has increased more in the decreased amount of sales that have happened, or decreased the negative percentage points. With that said, we are now sitting at a total of 1,211 detached homes for sale at the end of August. So still a lot more matches when you compare that to townhomes or condos, with the average days on the market for detached homes being at 35 days, where that of condos are currently sitting at 38 days. And then you have the townhomes and row homes kind of in between there, between 34 and 22 days on the market. But more specifically is the months of supply is a great indicator of what type of markets each of these property types are in Hamilton. So clearly you got the condos in a buyer's market at 8.4 months of inventory. This is the highest amount of inventory I've seen condos at in the recent months. But then you also have a decent amount of months of supply, as now if we really take a look at detached homes, this is breaking over that 4.26 months of supply mark. Now, in terms of the average sale price and the medium sale price year to date, as you can see, detached homes have decreased a little bit. We'll dive in a bit more to exactly what the benchmark prices are for each of the different regions of Hamilton, what's been hard hit, and what has been maintaining its value and possibly even increasing a little bit. But first, let's take a look at the monthly sales comparison. So here we are at August 2024. And as you can see, it is the lowest August in the last 10 months. So we continue to see that decrease in the number of sales that we have seen also in July and June of this year. Now, of course, the Bank of Canada has obviously seen the decrease in sales and is trying to stimulate the economy with another basis point of 2.5 decrease. However, is this really going to change a lot of the market? I'd say a lot of buyers are still going to be waiting to go on the market, which does lead to some good opportunities if you're looking to buy now before the end of the year, as you're going to have less competition, because I'm talking to a lot of buyers right now that are waiting for the springtime to pounce in. And at that point, when all the buyers start buying, it gets a lot more competitive and you're going to go back to those multiple offer situations. But if we look here and we look at the original price history, there's a couple things I want to note. First of all, as you'll notice, actually, the year-over-year mountain sales has continued to be about the same, or actually a little bit higher at above 76%. What has decreased in the number of sales drastically? One is Dundas down 56%. Same with the center of Hamilton, down 33%. But then also, interestingly enough, Stony Creek is down 26%. Now, with that said, if we actually go to the average days on the market and see how they exactly compare and what is sitting the longest in Hamilton, of course, the number one options and the number two option are going to be Flamborough and Ancaster. These more expensive properties tend to sit on the market a little bit longer, where the shortest time to purchase a home is still Dundas. While the sales are down, it's about half the amount of time stuff is selling in Dundas compared to that of Ancaster, compared to that of Flamborough, because of the limited availability that is going on in Dundas. But if we take a look here and we go to the average benchmark price in each of these different regions right here for detached homes, what we're going to be noticing is a couple of different things. So this is, you'll see here, this column year over year is how it compares to last year's sale price, and this is how it compares to last month's sale price. So as you can see, for basically the majority of Hamilton, we're down anywhere from 5% to 3% from the East Hamilton to Center Hamilton to the West Hamilton. The one area that's actually maintained and even grown a little bit in the benchmark price is this number right here, Hamilton West 11. But the other two areas that we have seen that have grown a little bit as well are that Dundas community and, of course, Ancaster right here. While Ancaster is sitting on the market a lot longer, there's obviously a bit more elasticity with the prices that are being on the market. Now, with that said, the area actually this month that was hit the hardest really in the price decreases were the Hamilton Mountain, as you see here, down roughly 7% across the board, regardless of the region in Hamilton's Mountain. And then the other area, interestingly enough, that actually saw a bit of increase was the Stony Creek 52. This is the more rural area on the mountain of Stony Creek, so not many properties sell here. So I imagine that price increase there is more a factor of just the type of properties that have sold, because there's so limited amount of properties to compare. Alrighty, so now that you know the different key performance indicators of the Hamilton real estate market for August, what are the three biggest key takeaways you can take as a buyer? Number one, right now, as you continue to see it, there is going to be a less amount of competition to purchase a home, leaving a great opportunity for you guys to scoop in, get favorable rates, make sure your conditions are included, where that might not be possible in the springtime when a waterfall of buyers continue to come in if the Bank of Canada continues with this rate decreases. Number two is really making sure that you are really focusing on those areas, one, that are going to hold their rates possibly, like Dundas, like Ancaster. These areas tend to hold their price a bit better. However, if you are going to be buying in the Hamilton Center, the Hamilton East, even a bit into Stony Creek or the Mountain for that matter, what is absolutely key right now to buffer that loss that might happen in the coming months before the real estate market takes a bounce back, because everything at the end of the day just goes in cycles, is ensuring that you are buying a home at least at market value, if not a little bit under market value. As if the homes have been sitting on a bit longer, you can get favorable conditions, get a favorable price for a home, and maybe build in some extra equity because you bought it at a more favorable rate than what the seller was trying to sell it at. That could help you bounce back, so then in a couple of years you can have a great investment on your hands. And then the third thing is really just focus on exactly what your needs and wants are, because at the end of the day, you want to make sure your buying timeline is not just buying and then selling within a year, but you want to make sure you're buying and then selling within a 5-year time window. So make sure when you are looking at homes, whether that's on the Hamilton Mountain, East Hamilton, Center Hamilton, Dundas, Stony Creek, Ancaster, wherever you're looking in Hamilton, make sure it matches your lifestyle so that you can be in it for the long haul. Then, as for sellers, what are the three big key takeaways you can have for the month of August? So number one, pricing competitively continues to be the number one thing in downward markets, because at the end of the day, you want to make sure you're pricing the home where you're not too far above the Hamilton market average. Let's say your home is worth $1 million today, but you put it at 1.2, and then the market continues to decrease as we're seeing over the past couple of months, then it's going to be hard to catch up, because then when you decrease your home by 50,000 and now you're at 1,150,000 and now the market is at 950, you're still never going to be able to catch that up unless you take a big chunk out. And this is why a lot of properties are sitting on the market much longer than the average 35 days in Hamilton. The second one is really making sure that marketing is your number one priority, because at the end of the day, well, you can't sell a home without it being priced at a well market value. You need to get eyeballs on it, as right now, not a lot of buyers are necessarily searching realtor.ca like they are in the springtime. So making sure that you're doing other marketing marketing efforts to get your home exposure is extremely important. And then finally, it's just be patient and try to have yourself in a power of position. So what do I mean by this is continuing to understand that the carrying cost will be a bit more maybe now, but that will allow you to get a better deal if you wait until the spring tour or until the right buyer comes around for you in this market. So now that you know the top 3 key takeaways for both buyers and sellers, if you're thinking about making the move to Hamilton, send me and my team a message today. We'd be happy to consult you on a one-on-one basis. Otherwise, the next video I'd recommend you go take a look at is my video comparing the pros and cons of each one of Hamilton's neighborhoods. So you can find that video right here. Otherwise, I hope you have a great day.